Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You know something? I am live at the Gadsden Mall right now. Great place to be. Wanted to mention a couple of things to you. First of all, you want to talk with Kaylee here at the Gadsden Mall. She is the manager, and if you are thinking about beginning a business, you have a business idea, or maybe you're new to the area and you just really don't know a whole lot of folks and you would like to be part of a wonderful community, come to the Gadsden Mall. Talk with Kaylee about starting a business here, and you'll be glad you did. Let me tell you a couple things about Kaylee. First of all, she really cares about the tenants here at the Gadsden Mall. And another thing is her background just happens to be retail. And that's a huge plus for you because she knows the things that can happen, the pitfalls. She knows the great ways that you can expand your business and bring more customers in. She knows all of this already. So go ahead and give her a call. It's Kaylee at the Gadsden Mall. You'll be really glad you did. Now, I wanted to talk to you just for a few minutes about engineering firms and how they can actually grow communities. You're not a stranger to John Merrill, used to be our Alabama Secretary of State, and he is with Wagner Engineering, and he makes quite a few trips here to Gadsden, Alabama. And so I wanted to talk with you about as citizens and how you can prepare yourself when your town actually starts growing and wow, folks start coming in. What are some things we can do to help? But first of all, let's talk about engineers and how they work. And it's, again, John Merrill. So cities are a place, of course, where it all happens, whether it's driven by aspiration or necessity. People are moving to cities more and more, and that's because they can experience quite a few opportunities that come from so many people, businesses, and new ideas in one place. So guess what? Someone has a grand idea. You're going to feed off of that idea and maybe come up with another idea for another business or some type of growth within your community. So let's talk about civil engineering and how that improves the well-being for any city. First of all, urban areas, and I consider Gadsden an urban area, and populations are growing worldwide and predicted to rise from 4.3 billion people in 2018 to nearly double that by the year 2050. So infrastructure plays a vital role in that growth, and it provides the essential services basically that affect how citizens work, how they play, connect, and impact the environment. Now, the built environment of our cities is made up of different layers. This includes your economic infrastructure, such as your industry, transport, and the utilities. Now, social infrastructure, such as your homes, your schools, your hospitals, and then your natural environment, such as the air quality, the green spaces, and the ecosystem management. So what I wanted to do is kind of break those three things down and how that applies to our everyday life, whether we're beginning a business or we're citizens living within that area. So engineers affect cities and how they design projects, and this adds to or will improve upon the city's existing infrastructure. So civil engineering is the primary engineering discipline relating to the built environment through other specialized areas, such as structural engineering, environmental engineering, fire engineering. I didn't realize there were so many. And then geotechnical engineering, building services, digital delivery, and many more. So engineering projects may benefit areas of urban development and city planning, such as your building and your infrastructure, transport networks, utilities, public health, protection from environmental risk and natural disasters, heritage and environment conservation. And I wanted to mention something about the transport networks. So when we moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, a job promotion took us there. So we moved there. There were around a little bit over almost 400,000 people there at that time. By the time we left, we'd lived there for 9 years, almost 10 years. And so the city actually grew from this almost 400,000 people to over 1 million people. And I'll tell you something that happens when a city experiences that much growth in such a quick amount of time. It's the roads and your your interstates, those they can take a pounding because you've got more trucks coming in to deliver goods and services. And guess what? That really hurts the infrastructure in your transport services. So that's one thing you have to really look at. Then you have to think about more and more people are piling on the interstate. And so this is what happens. So the city needs to develop more roads, more infrastructure. Well, we're all really busy trying to get to work. Well, there's going to be a slowdown in process because you're building a new, say, interstate or a roundabout of some sort. So it affects us all. So we all have to be patient with this. But I'm just teaching you because I think Gadsden is growing at such a great rate. You also have the folks who are, your city manager is wonderful, your mayor is wonderful, and I'll have to tell you something about the mayor here in Gadsden and the whole county of Etowah County. So I was at a mayor's forum. It was in Rainbow City a few weeks ago, and I thought it was just absolutely amazing how all the different mayors from every town, city, in Etowah County was at this forum working together. You know what? They're smart. They know that if any one of these towns starts a growth spurt, it's going to affect everybody else. And everybody else is going to be inside that growth spurt. So I think that's just absolutely remarkable. That you've got a town here, you've got a city, you've got a county here, Etowah County, who's actually working together on growing and making things better for you. Now, as a result, engineers play a pivotal role in designing cities for the future. They work with private and public sector clients to examine what is currently needed, look to the future challenges of city planning, and they reimagine what can be achieved. Now, by taking advantage of the latest material and digital technology that's all in place, they can create architecture that would have previously been impossible and improve the design's resilience and environmental impact. Now, by reimagining what is possible, engineers can make more connections between your data points, between the towns, between the cities that are within your county. Now let's talk about economic infrastructure, and I think we've got time to touch on it before we go into a commercial break. So the economic infrastructure actually supports people as they make a living, and that's vital. It includes everything that a business might need to keep growing, especially when you're going through those little growing pains, such as power, water utilities to run factories, your roads, your trains to transport goods, and communication systems to stay in contact. Resilience is vital for these systems as disruption can have wide-felt consequences on the region's economy. And this is when your planning commissioners, this is when they take place. Now, unlocking Sydney's Northwest region, what in the world, Donna, are you talking about Sydney? Well, this is going to make a lot of sense. So we're part of Australia's biggest public transport project, and this particular company that we're talking about. And they're talking about how they were able to help 500,000 residents result in connected communities where businesses and families are free to grow. Now, as part of the work on the Northwest line, they created stunning designs for innovative architectural spaces, put a little bit of art into that, and I love that part. They did this at train stations, power systems for the whole line, the train stabilizing, maintenance facilities, and providing civil engineering project management service. Now, during the project, the engineers and the project managers identified considerable savings in cost and resources. That's another part of their job. One example was the world's first techniques they pioneered to create underground stations with more precast elements than anywhere else in the world. And that wound up saving a lot of money for the Planning Commission so they can have more things happening in the town. Okay, social infrastructure. Okay, so social infrastructure helps provide essential support to communities, such as improving health. You know, we all worry about smog and stuff like that, right? Access to education, that's huge. Providing fair access to services to all. Now, when creating buildings such as homes, hospitals, schools, universities, we got that intact, engineers use their expertise to make them more digitally connected than ever before. And this will create opportunities for cross-service support for us, for the citizens, ease of use, and more accurate data for decision makers. Now, the future of higher education, this is something that I think about a lot. And these are the hands-on jobs. These are, and I'm going to tell you, without having a huge educational expense waiting at the back you got to pay for it later on. Let's talk about this. A smart campus is a university environment that integrates physical spaces with digital technology. And this also provides engineering, business consultant, and digital expertise to the universities and helps them achieve their vision of becoming a world leader in smart infrastructure, being advised on a transformational roadmap, creating new facilities and integrating end-to-end technology. Now, this is an ambitious vision, and let me tell you what a lot of colleges are doing, and I love the Gadsden campus for this, college campus for this. So they understand that you need your booklet, you need your folks with degrees, you got to have that. But they're also understanding the importance, again, of people who work with their hands. You have people who are in drafting. You have people who are who use huge machines. They're in robotics. They're in all of these that you can go and get a technical degree for, or actually a technical diploma for, without having the 4-year degree or the 10-year degree behind you. These folks are already working in the community. They're buying nice houses. They're buying nice automobiles. They're going to the grocery store, they're buying food, they're buying clothing, they're buying all these things because they have the really nice jobs and they're vital to the community. I'll just have to tell you, my dad always was in this type business, always. Of course, he always moved up really quick with companies because he knew the importance, and I'm talking to future employees right now. So he knew the importance of starting out at the bottom of a company and working his way up. And so I asked him one time about that. I said, why do you do that? Why don't you just go on ahead? Because you got the experience. I mean, you can just go ahead and start a management position right away. He said, but I want to know how it happens at the bottom to work my way and I can be more intellectual with the way I talk to the employees and that kind of thing. He said, I want to know what happens in every job. And he said, first of all, every job is important, right? And I said, yeah, right, but I'm just wondering why you're starting at the bottom. He said, so I can be intellectual and I can talk to folks who have those jobs because I've done it. Smart way to look at things. So be thinking about that, okay? You can't start at the top. You got to work your way up. And I promise you, if you've got the knowledge and you start at the bottom, work your way up, you're going to work your way up very fast. Let's go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a minute.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Okay, we're back. And my name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundant Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast, thenewscasters.com. You know something? You also find us on the radio, icradio.media. We're talking about growing a town and growing a business and growing families. And we're also talking about how all of this can work out for everybody when you have the right engineering firm in place. Wagner Engineering is one of them. John Merrill, if you've been following him, he is working with Wagner Engineering right now. He's in Gadsden quite a bit. And so he's still visiting all 67 counties in Alabama to teach folks ways that we can grow and the way we can all grow together. And I think this is great. Now let's talk a little bit about the environment. Everybody seems to be worried about the environment, so the future poses increasing risk from natural disasters that can happen to populations around the world. So engineers really need to create structures that will be both climate resilient to cope with additional stresses and leave a minimal impact on the surrounding environment. So let me tell you something that I have learned because my parents would buy houses and flip them basically. What they would do is buy houses like an old one, redo it. So this is something I learned just from a deck, from building a deck on the back of a house. Did you know that wood expands? Engineers know this. They know how to make this thing happen. So if you're building the deck, let's just say in the summertime, and you put those boards too close. Well, let's just use the winter time. This would be a better way to explain this to you. So it's the winter climate, okay? So we've got really cold weather outside, and so you're working on a deck. It's going to be outside, okay? You've got to be prepared for the engineering part of it in the summertime as well as the winter time. So when you're putting those boards together, so you put the boards too close and you put them where they're just almost smashed in together, what's going to happen is when you have summer weather, guess what? Wood expands. Yeah, you know, they say a house breathes. It does. And I know this just from growing up with my parents working on houses. So I've got those pieces of wood just really, really close. They're almost squished together. Then the summertime comes, it's going to get squeezed in even more because you have more wood. It's all expanding. And guess what? When wood expands, it's going to cause some crackling. It's going to cause some issues. It can cause some issues with a foundation if it's built that way. So this is one thing I did learn. So you're in the summertime, you're in the wintertime, and you're building a deck on the back of your house, or you're building a floor, okay, and the floors. You got to have it where the wood can breathe. Like this. Engineers know all this. And this is why it's so important you have an engineer come to your town, your city, and you're going to be growing. They know all those little things that we don't know. Now, and we're talking about the climate. You know, it's important how you construct a building. And, you know, folks like Trump know this. They've been in the building business forever. And that's why they're notable, because they know about simple little things about expanding wood. And then when it comes back in the wintertime again, then you're going to have not so much of that expansion on the wood. Okay, now let's talk about flood. In case a flood were to happen, and it could happen, okay, anywhere. I know in our own house, you know, we have water that stands. We have, you need to know your soil. We have sandy soil. And then when it rains, it pours, and that rain, I mean, it's almost like quicksand out there. So it's really important we know all these things. But let's talk about flood. So around the world, in recent years, we've had a lot of rainfall. Okay, it's triggered extensive flooding that can endanger lives, property, and businesses. You know, I talk to you all the time about how to drive in water. I mean, because you can get crazy floods any time of the year. So you got to know that. So there was a city council and the Environment Agency that was set out to protect 3,000 homes, 500 businesses, and this is for the development of land, about 120,000 acres of land in a city center, and they're trying to keep it from flooding. So this is what happened. They figured out a scheme. So as part of the award-winning scheme, they created defiances along a 4.3 kilometer stretch of a river that included reinforcing waterfront buildings and creating 2 movable weirs. Now this is the first of their kind to be used for flood defense. Okay, and this happened in the UK. Now the measures will safeguard about 22,000 jobs over the next 10 years and give confidence to future investors in the city, because what's one of the things they're going to ask about? We know this from living in a small town in Geraldine, Alabama. When people are thinking about coming into an area, first thing they're going to ask about is sewage, okay, and water. They're going to ask about that. Then they're going to ask, are there flooding zones within that community? So these people thought about it first. So in Bristol, one of UK's most vibrant and popular cities, the most central rail service is expecting passengers per year to more than double to over 22 million in the next decade. That's why the local authorities have appointed a team of people, of industry leading architects, and to guide the redevelopment of the historic Temple Quarter. This includes expanding the iconic Bristol Temple Mead Station. They're thinking ahead, 11,000 new homes. They're thinking ahead, new enterprise zones, and then again, new characterful public spaces. They're thinking about, you know, the reason people would come to a town. They're thinking about, you know, people taking vacations and that kind of thing. You don't want to fear when you're going into a town for a vacation. So This is pretty much, well, a regeneration of project, and it looks to put green infrastructure and sustainable neighborhoods in the heart of the city while meeting the growing needs of the city, and it will also benefit not just their town but surrounding towns by connecting different regions of the city. This is where cities work together in a particular county, like Etowah County is doing right now. Meaningful housing, new investments in local, city, and regional level. Now, by putting in place infrastructure that is reasonable, sustainable, resilient, and more connected than ever before, then engineers can begin building cities for tomorrow that are just as suitable, and they'll also learn more. So think about this, the future cities that are being built this way. You're going to know what can happen, what cannot happen. You're going to know what to do to make it even more resilient with each city that you're building. This is why I love this town. That's why I love Gadsden, Alabama. Not only are they thinking about Gadsden, Alabama, they're also thinking about the other cities in the area. That's why all the mayors are working together on these projects. And I think it's an absolutely awesome thing, because when we work together, we're going to make a lot happen. And it's all going to be positive influence that happens for the community, which means positive influence of things happening for you. Because again, like we said in the very first part of this show, not only are they building roads, they're building more hospitals, they're building more of everything, which is going to accommodate you, and you'll have a healthier life. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. You can find us on the radio at IC Radio Station. You can also find us, and by the way, at icradio.media. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundant Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast at thenewscasters.com. And don't forget to send an email, okay? Because the reason I do this is for you. So like this little segment right here, it's just going to give you a little more information where you can know to have a little patience when your town is absolutely growing. Send an email with any ideas to donna@donnasedge.com. That's donna@donnasedge.com. Thank you for watching.
My Towels solved the problem that we've all had with towels. You go into the stores and they feel lotiony and soft, but then you get them home and they wind dry you. That's why I made My Towels. They actually work, they're soft, and they absorb. And now I'm excited to announce 2 brand new lines of My Towels. What makes them the best towels ever is they're now made with 100% long staple Shapir cotton. This is a combed ring spun cotton that makes My Towels even softer and more absorbent than ever. And now you get a 6-piece set for an amazing introductory sale price as low as $29.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get My Towels for only $29.98. Or you can get my designer premium line for just $20 more. Either way, you save 50% now on all My Towels. They actually work. What a concept. This offer won't last long, so please order now.
mypillow.com.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is #1 as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.